we all know that we need to ground ourselves, right? Take those pauses, those moments, and reconnect with ourselves, feel like our feet are on the ground. And you probably have gotten lots of advice on how to do this. I have too. You probably even tried some things. Me too. And some of those things might have sort of. Some of those things might have worked, but they just don't really fit into your life. And some of those things may not have had any effect on you whatsoever. Yeah, that happens. I've explored so many things for quite some time in this arena. And it wasn't until I started really looking at my human design that I really started connecting with the things that really honed in, gave me the best bang for the buck. And I'm going to share them with you because they're right there in your chart, and you don't really have to know much about human design to get this started. And so what you're looking at right here, I'll give you a little bit of orientation where we're starting. This is an example of a report. It's mine that I create. And when I work with clients to create these, I treat them as not for me to teach you who you are, but to co-create with you a self-coaching tool. And this is mine. I've been using it to self-coach myself. I put a lot of things in it to really kind of help me. So I'm going to share a part of it. And so I'm going to go here what is sometimes called your core 4 or your incarnation cross or your genius. And I'm going to go to a very specific part of it. But let's start here. Let's take a look at it. This is my body graph right here. And then I'm going to get my handy dandy drawing tool here so that we can see what I'm talking about. So this is your body graph. That's kind of like a visual. I love this thing because it's a visual, and I'm much more of a visual thinker of how our energy flows. And over here's where my my genius, I like that term more than any of the others that are used because I just think about here's my genius. And where it comes from is on your chart, you have a side of numbers. It comes from right here. So on the left is the unconscious, and on the right is the conscious side of things. And you always start off with your sun, where you're radiant, where you glow, everything is at the top. And then you have your earth, which is your grounding, how you can really root yourself. And you have the parts on the conscious side that you're probably more aware of. And then you have what's on the unconscious side, which you may or may not be aware of. Now, there's a lot of layers that you can go deep into each one of these. And I am going to pick the one that I have been using more than any other. The biggest part of this I've been using right here is how do I ground on my unconscious side? The part that I'm not aware of. I'm going for the biggest bang for my buck. That's how I'm looking at it. And so it'll be on the left side of your chart. It'll be the second one down. That's where it'll be on pretty much all the charts of where they come from. And if you don't have a chart, you can reach out to me. I would be happy to provide you with the chart free of, no strings or anything. And when we zoom in and we look at this, we'll see right here, there's a 22 and then a 0.2. So let me let those disappear here. And let me see if I can make this, get rid of this, make this bigger so that you can see it. Right here, 22.2. And so I'm just going to tell you what that means. It means that it's gate 22 or trait 22 or gene key 22, depends what system you follow. And 2, the 0.2 at the end is the line. And there's 6 lines total. And this is what goes into making me a 6-4. The 6 comes from over on my conscious side. Over here, the 6. And this is my 2. I'm a 6-2. Sorry. I think I said 6'4", but 6'2". I am a 6'2". And so anyway, I'm not even going to worry about the 2 line right now. We're going to focus on the gate 22 and where it's located. Let me move me so that we can go over here. It's right here. And this is the emotional solar plexus system. And the emotional solar plexus center. And you don't even have to know that much. So all you want to do is you want to go through and you want to find out what this number is and then learn more about it. And I often use, if you can see in the little picture, I'll hide me. I am a big fan of Richard Rud. He talks about him in terms of gene keys, and he has different books that talk about them, as well as audio recordings. He talks about them in slightly different ways depending on where you're reading or what you're listening to. And I like his take on it. And every time I listen to it, I get something a little bit different because I have both. I have the audio recordings as well as the book. And I do take in other resources. I even have a whole nother video somewhere here on the YouTube universe. Maybe I'll put a link to it. That talks about the resources that are really valuable to me. And those are the things that really help me to hone into what this means. And now I'm going to share mine. Mine is a 22. Yours is probably not a 22. And if it is a 22, maybe you'll get a little bit of treat. But I find that for me, when I learn things, I really, it helps me to be able to see other people's examples and how they're doing things. So I'm going to share with you. I got to scroll down. There's a lot of pages in this report here. So you'll see me scrolling off to the side. I'm looking over there and I'm looking for, is this my 22? No, it's going to be the next one. I get, as I'm scrolling through here, it's almost coming up. So I'll show you, like I do a lot of things that, again, this is for self-study, for self-coaching, something you can come back to at any time and learn a little something extra about yourself. That's how I do them. I also even include, depending on what the person is requesting in it, and this is my personal one, so it has a lot of things in it. It has what's important for me in this particular report. There was 2 things. So it was weight loss as well as business. I always give myself questions. I never seem to remember when I create the report. I don't always remember. So every time I open this up, I have it printed out. Every time I open it up, it's like a brand new gift. Okay. And speaking of gifts, this is an amazing gift right here. So this is my gate 22 with a 0.2. So gate 22 with a line 2 quality. And it's my purpose. It's how I ground myself unconsciously. And the more I can tune my awareness and do some of this on purpose, I gain so much. Anytime you can tap into something that's unconscious, I always feel like it's an instant power that comes to you. So I'm going to read what I wrote to myself on here. And so you can see this is what self-studying your human design, what it can give you. The more that you look over, it's not a fun parlor game for me where it started off that way, but it's not anymore. Where, you get a little something like, oh, that's so cool, I totally see myself, and then you never do anything with it. No, I'm more interested in what can I do with this. And it's been changing my my life in so many ways. Like, it's so much easier to, it's not only that it's easier for me to get grounded quicker, but I feel more grounded the majority of the time. And I'm getting used to that feeling. And so when I'm not grounded, now that's the contrast where, like normally I feel so blah, but today I felt really great. That used to be the contrast. You would notice like all of a sudden, for some reason, I just feel really good today. It's like not the norm. I'm used to just talking about how there's so much on my schedule and I seem to not have enough time and this goes wrong and I'm dealing with that and whatever it is. And I went from that way of life of being irritated at things to when something irritates me or I feel a little off or I don't feel grounded, that seems like the unusual thing. And it calls it out then it means that I'm more aware of it and I can address it more. So it's pretty cool how our life can shift. So I'm going to read to you what I wrote to myself so that I can see it in fresh eyes to help myself. And so I want to share and be the example. So gate 22.2, your purpose, foundation that creates connection to sense what truly needs to change for yourself and for those around you. Gate 22 is known as the gate of openness to your inner grace, the sacred timing when you speak, when to listen and when to let the silence sing, connecting through tone, through presence, through how you allow your emotions to ripple through the room like a scent on a breeze. And when I was writing this, I did a lot of kind of self-reflection. I've been doing a lot of self-reflection for a while. And one of the things a few years ago that I really started practicing, it was listening when I thought I needed to pause. And I had a lot of moments in my life where I just automatically did that. But I wasn't really aware of it. And when I started drawing my attention to it, like, let me listen to the inside of me. Do I say this now or do I wait? Because sometimes I'm like, I just want to tell you, this is really going to help you. Like, I can tell you right now, this is the thing. I want to help you. But if the person on the receiving end isn't open to receiving, then it can sometimes do more damage than good. And because they can go into self-blame, or they could be irritated at you, it increases it. And so learning to do more of that on purpose was something that was really important for me. And now it's even when I'm thinking about myself, I'm using it for my own mind. Hey, mind, is this now really the time to be sharing it? Or is this something that it's ready to listen and just to let it breathe? Because sometimes I'll have something and I'll do it, and then I'll think, you should have done it this way, and this is why this isn't working out, and have you thought about it this way? Maybe we could try a different way. My mind is going, because that's what my mind does. I don't know if your mind's like that, but it goes like a mile a minute. I can't even keep up with it. Where sometimes my body is just saying, no, can we just stop? I don't want to be fixed right now. I don't want to solve this problem. I want to express it out. I just want to have a moment to exhale it. And that's one of the things that I've also been really working on for myself, and maybe this will help you, is most of the time we all say, oh, it's time to take a deep breath. And so we all go and inhale, right? The better thing to do that I have realized is to exhale first. And then later on, someone told me that that's something that they teach you around like trauma. Exhale first. And I've sat in on some guided meditations in-person ones, and they always talk about, we're going to focus on our exhale, lengthening our exhale. Now that you've done that, now we can think about the inhale. And so I think about that when to listen, when to exhale versus taking that deep breath. So you felt this, haven't you? The inner nudge that says, now is the time to speak. Or just as powerfully, this is the moment for quiet. That your inner compass whispering, follow the wave. Not the calendar, not the shoulds, not the advice. The wave. And it's flavored by your two-line, the natural, the hermit, the one who needs alone time, not just to rest, but to integrate. The one who surprises others' wisdom. The one who surprises others with wisdom they didn't even know they had, until it's called out of them by someone close, someone trusted. That happens to me often. And I see it happening when I work with people too, that sometimes it's really a surprise. It'll just land and you'll be like, that just sparked something. I don't know if you ever have that. I have that often, like, ooh, that just gave me an idea. Or, ooh, I just got chills from that. It's a moment of where, like, ooh, something heard me and I wasn't expecting to be heard. Your system is emotional, subtle, sensing. You ground through moments of beauty, through music that makes your spine hum, through making art with your hands, or sitting with someone who needs no words. This is how you reconnect with yourself and to source. It's more ritualistic than routine. And in the emotional solar plexus, gate 22 dances on an individual wave. You know what? Before I get into that, I'm going to share. There's a couple things also in my human design that I won't go into here, but there's these things called variables. And I have both smell and sound in mind. And it made so much sense because I am overly sensitive to smell. I'll get migraines over certain smells, and I'm overly sensitive to sound, especially high-pitched, clinky sounds. And I never thought I was an auditory person because I don't learn very well that way. And I think it's because there's so much noise that I have to filter so much out, that I'm super sensitive. So I filter out a lot of things. Therefore, it's harder to learn things because I'm filtering. It's a whole nother interesting thing. But I also just want to share that when I come up here and I look on my body graph, there's these lines, they're channels. This green arrow is really covering up one here, but you can see them down here too. That goes between here. Can I zoom in more? There we go. Woo! Big zoom in. All right. So like between this 59 and 6 right here, let's see if I can get out some handy dandy tools. Right here. So this one is a tribal wave. This one is a tribal wave. This one is a tribal wave. And I do have that tribal wave on there. And it changes what your wave actually is. And there's also one here between like this 31 and 40, or 30 and 41. And up here, these are collective waves. And here is between, you know what, let me let those disappear. And the ones here in the middle are individual waves. And so it will give you some insights into the different kinds of waves that you can have with your emotions. And I'm a 6-2, I'm a generator, and I have emotional authority. So my emotional wave is something I study a lot. And then on top of that, 22, which is right here in the emotional solar plexus, is how I ground myself unconsciously. So it's a really important one for me to pay attention to. So it's my unique combination of things. So, and in the emotional solar plexus, gate 22 dances on an individual wave. Your moods may shift. They may feel inspired one day and melancholic the next. That's rhythm, your flow. And like any true artist, your power lives in honoring your moods. Melancholy often means something sacred is ready to be birthed. And if you let yourself stay with it too long or long enough to hear, I'm going to read that starting again. This is me. I just do one takes, just if you haven't followed me before. And sometimes I screw up my words and I have to go back. Melancholy often means research. All right, here's a little thing like, all right, getting all those jitters out. And I may seem like, what is she on? I don't know. But that is a somatic thing that just that quick little shaking just gets it out. And now I feel so much more calm. I don't know if you notice my voice dropped and my pacing's changed. And that just naturally happened because that's the power of somatics when you know what you're doing to calm your nervous system and going through your different kinds of energetic states. Anyway, here we go. Melancholy often means something sacred is ready to be birthed. And if you let yourself stay with it long enough to hear what it has to say, capacity to be in these moments is your pathway for more grace. That's something I try to do. So how does this support your purpose? You're here to create and express from a place of emotional truth. You don't ground yourself through consistency of behavior. You ground yourself through the consistency of honoring your inner emotional landscape. When your energy is rooted in grace, everything else flows. Your conversation shift, your writing deepens, your business softens, your body exhales. The exhale's the important part. And maybe this is the great remembering, that your worth doesn't come from productivity, but being present in your now. That your purpose isn't about what you create, but how deeply you're willing to be with yourself, with others, with the divine. Let this be your sacred practice. When you're unsure of what to say or do, pause, feel your wave, and trust that your grace will know the way. So, this is artwork here that I did in, I think it was November of 2022. It is my 15-year plan. It's something that emotions came into this artwork, into me. There's deep folds of meaning in here. When I look at it, it's like how somebody else can look at a photograph and remember all the details of when that photograph was taken, all the people who and things were outside of the frame that didn't make it into the photograph, every time that you've shared this photograph, what this photograph means to you, the other things that you think about adjacent to this photograph, and all of that, it floods in you at once as soon as you see that one photograph, right? It only takes a split second and all of it is just like inner knowing. And that's what this is for me. And it's a reminder here that this is what I was doing even before I started studying my human design. So kind of like this inner knowing, and I did it, but I didn't fully understand it. And I don't know if I still fully understand it, but I didn't know it enough that I could keep doing it on purpose. And now through studying my human design, I know so much more about it and I do it on purpose. So I'll share just one of my practices that I do every day. It's rare that I don't do this. And that is, I go for a walk in a park. There's a park that's nearby that I walk to that's got a lot of trees and it's wide open grass. It's not like a playground kind of park. It's just this great green area. And there's always squirrels about, lots of birds. Sometimes there's like a crane, a skunk, there's coyotes. I probably have seen a whole bunch of other things there, but I'm there, I'm walking with trees. And as I'm in the nature, which is really helpful for me, and those sounds are sounds that resonate with me. There's not a lot of flowers, so the smells, the scents that I take in, they feel good for me. I'm not distracted by any of it. And I take my phone out, and as your body is moving, for me, that is a great way of stimulating and releasing so that I can fully express. And I open my phone, I go to my notes app, and I talk to text about my emotions, whatever I'm feeling that day, whether it's something that's good, bad, or whatever, not to dwell on it, not to make it something to solve. I just express. It's my way of journaling that I've been doing, and all of those things come together, fit into my design also. So they're things that I was kind of doing, but I was just kind of doing them. And then when I started studying my human design and I found out about the sound and the smell, and I already knew about the movement. I already knew how key that was for expression. But then that I have emotional authority, and that the key to my unconscious grounding is this gate 22, giving myself grace. So my grace is to just let myself express openly. I don't even have to show it to anybody. I don't have to save it. I never have to go back and relook at it. I record it because I want to have those options just in case, because I do a lot of studying on this stuff because I like to nerd out on it. And it helps me with how I help my clients. The more that I can kind of see things in me, the more I can help other people, I always feel like. And I also don't mind being the example and letting people see, like, here's my hot mess, and here's where I am. This is what I'm doing. And I don't mind whether people think I'm a hot mess or think I'm successful or whatever. That's up to them. This is me moving through my life and creating the life that I want. And this is one of the practices that I do. And I can't tell you how, when I get halfway through my walk, I totally sense it. And oftentimes what comes up is some little key thing, because I'm freely expressing. I'm not censoring myself. I'm just letting it come out. It's one giant paragraph. You wouldn't even want to go back and read it. And sometimes something will pipe up and I'll be like, whoa, I didn't know that was hiding in there. And this is self-coaching yourself. So I guess I just wanted to share, this is what my process is. This is what I'm doing. This is how I navigate using human design to help me to see maybe some things that I've already kind of leaned into, but now I can really do them more, or have more intention, or understand how different things I've been doing, how they can kind of come together and really reinforce this. Because my goal is to show up as me, to feel like me, to be me, no matter what it is I'm facing. And maybe you have that goal for yourself too. Or maybe now that you've heard me say it, maybe that'll become a goal for you. I don't know. You can just follow me if you're interested in any of this. Just hit subscribe, Or come back here tomorrow because there'll probably be another video.